Before we begin dissecting anything delicate, a quick announcement for the men who prefer foresight over regret. Our latest Patreon video is called 7 Hard Lessons About Women Most Men Learn Too Late in Life. It's not motivational, it's surgical. And if you want coaching, the link is in the description and pinned comment. That's where men go when they're tired of guessing why the same endings keep repeating. Now lean in, because this is where most men get blindsided. Every woman you deal with is quietly running an audit on you, not out of malice, out of instinct. She's not asking whether you're kind, loyal, or emotionally available. She's asking a far more dangerous question. How easily can this man be replaced? And the terrifying part for most men is that the test is rarely obvious. It's subtle, almost polite, and conducted while you're busy trying to impress her. Here's the hook you didn't ask for, but desperately need. The men who fail these tests never realize they were tested at all. They think attraction faded. They think timing was off. They think she changed. No, she observed. She adjusted. And she concluded. Women don't announce when they're checking your replaceability. They create situations and watch how you move. When she delays replies, she's not being rude. She's watching whether your emotional spine bends. When she mentions another man casually, she's not trying to make you jealous. She's measuring whether your sense of self collapses under imagined competition. When plans become uncertain, she's not suddenly disorganized. She's observing whether your life pauses to accommodate her chaos. Men who are replaceable behave like interns fighting for a full-time position. Overeager, overavailable, grateful for scraps of attention. They think consistency will save them. It won't. Consistency without leverage is just predictability. And predictability is the enemy of desire. When a woman senses that you might be replaceable, she doesn't confront you. She experiments. She reduces investment slightly and watches whether you compensate. She withdraws warmth and watches whether you beg for its return. Each overreaction is a data point. Each anxious message is confirmation. By the time she's distant, she already knows the answer. Here's where I give credit where it's due. Women who play this game well are not cruel. They are efficient. They understand that emotional labor is currency, and they don't waste it on men who fold under pressure. I respect that. A woman who tests quietly is a strategist. A man who fails loudly is a volunteer. There's a deliciously dark irony here. The men most terrified of being replaced behave in ways that guarantee it. They over-explain. They over-text. They seek reassurance disguised as communication. They turn every pause into a problem to solve. Women don't leave these men because they're bad. They leave because they're unnecessary. When a woman checks if you're replaceable, she's also checking if you're anchored. Does your life have momentum independent of her attention? Or is she the sun your entire emotional system revolves around? Men who orbit women lose gravity. Men with gravity attract orbiters. There's psychological evidence backing this, for those who need science to bless what experience already teaches. Research published in Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin found that individuals perceived as having higher self-sufficiency and lower emotional dependency were rated as more desirable long-term partners because they signaled stability and higher social value. Translation: people don't cling to what doesn't cling back. Now let's talk about the moments men miss. When she asks vague questions about your plans, she's not making conversation. She's checking whether you have direction or just availability. When she cancels last minute, She's not testing your patience. She's testing whether you rearrange your life to keep access to her. When she goes quiet after intimacy, she's watching whether you spiral or stay centered. Replaceable men panic in silence. Irreplaceable men notice it and go about their day. The simp, bless his predictable soul, interprets these tests as signals to try harder. He doubles down on effort, unaware that effort is not what's being evaluated. Composure is. Men who cannot regulate themselves are liabilities, not partners. Women don't want to be your emotional regulator. They want to choose you, not manage you. And here's the part that offends men who mistake passivity for virtue. Being irreplaceable doesn't mean being distant or cruel. It means being selective with your reactions. You don't punish. You don't protest. You don't withdraw theatrically. You simply continue as if your life has weight. Because it does. Some women, when they realize you're not easily replaceable, will escalate. They invest more. They seek clarity. They test less, because they've already received their answer. Others will retreat entirely. That's not failure. That's filtration. You were useful to their ego, not aligned with their interest. What terrifies most men is that they don't control the outcome. Good. Control is a fantasy insecure men cling to. Influence comes from consistency of self, not manipulation of others. The moment you stop trying to secure your position, you paradoxically strengthen it. Being irreplaceable is not about outperforming other men. It's about not competing at all. Competition implies fear of loss. Indifference implies abundance. Women are exquisitely attuned to this distinction, even if they can't articulate it. Now for the uncomfortable truth. If you are constantly being tested, it's because you're constantly signaling replaceability. Not through words, but through urgency. Urgency is the loudest confession of all. Homework, because insight without action is just intellectual procrastination. Over the next 2 weeks, pay attention to moments where uncertainty appears. Delayed responses, shifted plans, ambiguity. Do nothing to correct it. Don't withdraw. Don't pursue. Just maintain your routines, your commitments, your standards. Observe who leans in and who drifts away. Write down how your body reacts when you don't intervene. That tension is where your dependency lives. Sit with it until it loses its authority. If you like this video, subscribe. Not because it helps the channel, but because repetition trains instinct, and instinct decides outcomes long before logic shows up. And I want you to comment this, honestly. What's the clearest moment you realized someone was testing whether you were replaceable? Say it plainly. The answers will be more revealing than you think. Replaceable men beg for certainty. Irreplaceable men let behavior reveal intent. And only one of those gets chosen twice. Welcome to the dark side of your mind, an armory disguised as advice. Everything here exists to give you clarity sharper than the games being played against you. The reading is where I dissect your situation with precision. What he meant, what he didn't, what you missed. About 1,000 words, plus one follow-up question to tighten the strategy. The case file is the full autopsy, a complete psychological breakdown in writing, plus a private audio message so you hear the parts most people avoid. One follow-up to lock it in. If you want speed, there's the whisper. 400 words. Direct. Unfiltered. No extra dialogue. If you prefer tone and voice, the weight of the message itself, the transmission gives you a private audio response. No follow-up. No hand-holding. And if your situation is messy enough for multiple angles, buy 2 services, and the third is free. Strategy rewards commitment. If you want the truth delivered publicly, without exposing yourself. There's the public whisper. One question, one strategic answer, posted for others to learn from. Short, clean, no follow-up. You already know why you're here. You ask your question, and within 72 hours, you get clarity most people never develop. Emotional discipline, psychological leverage, the ability to stop repeating patterns that drain you. The dark side of your mind isn't here to soothe you. It's here to change how you move.